Okay, so today we're just practicing the same thing from yesterday, which is writing equations for trig functions from their graphs. Okay, so here we go. Now this one specifically says to use sine. So we're going to be creating an equation for sine. So my parent function with my transformations looks like this. So we need to find a, b, h, and k. Some people use c and d. I like to keep it consistent with our other transformations. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to find our maximum, which is here at 2, and then our minimum here is at -6. Okay, that means our center line is right in the middle. So it's going to be right here. Our center line's at -2. Which is telling me my amplitude is 4 because my total distance is 8. So my amplitude is 4. So my center line is at -2, which means k is -2 and a is 4. Okay. Now since it's telling us to use sine, and I can see right here that my wave hits the y-axis on the center line, I'm going to use this wave to define my sine function. Okay, and the reason I'm going to use that one instead of, I could have used this one over here and done it like this, but then I would have had a shift in it. Okay, I could have even done it starting here and done this one to here, but then I had a shift and a reflection, and I don't want to deal with all that. So I'm using this one. So it starts here at 0, it ends here at 3 pi. So my period is 3 pi. I have no shift, so h is 0. So the only thing I have left to do here is find my period. Now the period comes from this equation, 2 pi over b, and we know that the answer is 3 pi. So we're going to work it backwards. So use a cross multiplication, so 1 times 2 pi divided by 3 pi, so b equals 2 pi over 3 pi, which means b is 2/3. So I have everything I need now. So I know what k is, so I'm going to plug k, a, and b in. So k is -2 plus 4 sine of 2 over 3x, and that is my equation. Okay. For the second problem, it's telling us to use a cosine wave. Okay. So same thing. I'm going to start by writing down my parent function. So since I'm using cosine, it's f of x equals k plus a sine of bx minus h. Okay. Start by finding my maximum. 2. Minimum is at -6. Okay. Which means my center line is right here at -2. And if you haven't figured this out yet, they're the same ones. Okay. So my center line is at -2. My amplitude is 4. So k is -2, a is 4. My period is still 3 pi. Okay. Now this is where it gets interesting. I have to choose which wave I'm going to use if I'm using cosine. So I could start my cosine wave here and go to here, and that's one wave. Or if I wanted to, I could start it here and go to here, and that would be 1. Or if I wanted to, I could even start over here. This will catch up. I could start it here and go to here if I wanted to. Okay, there are a bunch of options. I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm going to use this one. Okay, which means that if this is pi, this is divided up into 3. So this is basically going to be, 4. This is going to be 3 pi over 4. So my shift is 3 pi over 4. Okay, so that's how far it's been shifted. Now we already know what b is, because b is the same. So this is still 2/3. But now I've got to find my phase shift. And phase shift is h over b. Okay. And I know that my phase shift is 3 pi over 4. I also know what b is. So we're going to plug that in. So we need to find out what h is. So h over 2 over 3 equals 3 pi over 4. So that means that h is going to be equal to 3 pi over 4 times 2/3. So h is going to be 3 divides out with 3, and then you get pi over 2. So h is pi over 2. So my cosine equation for this one is going to be -2 plus 4. Oh, this is supposed to be cosine. Sorry. Cosine. Cosine 2 over 3x, and since we move to the right, that's going to be minus pi over 2. And that's my answer.